and gentlemen, you're watching News Now right here on ET Now with me, Sumita Karir. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take you through the top stories that we're tracking right here on the channel from the world of politics, geopolitics, business and finance. So let's start with some news coming in on account of the West Asia war. Well, in the aftermath of the strikes and counter-strikes, the new commentary is coming in from President Donald Trump, who stated that while Iran is also gone militarily, but he's also taken a swipe at Iran's new leader, the supreme leader, Mojtaba. He said that he's 90% gone as well. Remember, his commentary is coming in after Mojtaba Khamenei has not really been seen in public eye, in public view. Of course, we've seen his messages being transmitted through Iran's official news channels. In fact, my colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary has more details on this. Srinjoy, what exactly has President Trump stated, and what is going to be the way forward as far as peace talks between Iran and the United States are concerned?
President Donald Trump of the United States has often said different things at different times. Now he says that Mojtaba Khomeini, the supreme leader of Iran, who has not been seen in public for a long time, is 90% gone. Now, the Iranians have not replied to it. At this point, you would not expect them to reply to it. Yes, he has not been seen for a long time. In fact, since he became supreme leader after his father was killed on the first day of the fighting, the 28th of February. But at this point, President Trump says that he, the current supreme leader, is 90% gone.
Absolutely, tensions mounting in the region. But Srinjoy, do stay on with us, because what we are getting to learn is that the MEA in its weekly briefing has also condemned the strikes by Iran on merchant shipping vessels. We're given to understand that an Indian has lost his life as far as commercial shipping is concerned, these vessels are concerned. And of course, we're given to understand that at least 10 other people have been injured. And ladies and gentlemen, in that aspect, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs also summoned the Deputy Chief of Mission of the Iranian Embassy right here in the national capital. My colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary is getting us more details. Srinjoy, what else do we know as far as the summoning of the Deputy Chief of Mission of Iran is concerned? And what is the latest that we know as far as that development is concerned?
The Strait of Hormuz is not a particularly safe place, not for sailors, not for ships, not for tankers, not for container ships. And they have been attacked in recent times, and many of the sailors happen to be Indian. On one ship, an Indian sailor is still missing, presumed to be dead. 11 were rescued by the Omanis. But the important point is the Indian government is very cross. The Indian government is making it very clear that these attacks are unwarranted, which is why the Deputy Chief of Mission of Iran was called in and basically informed about these attacks and told that the Indian government is unhappy with this, very cross, that ships carrying Indian sailors have been attacked and there have been deaths, and there could well be more deaths in the future.
Absolutely. Safety of Indian vessels and, of course, Indians abroad is MEA's utmost priority. It is the utmost priority of the Indian government, and that is something, ladies and gentlemen, that's been reiterated over and over again. But looking at some more international news that's coming in, well, External Affairs Dr. S. Jaishankar is currently in New York. He's, of course, launched a bid for India's bid at the UNSC, and, of course, in New York, he's also pushed for greater maritime security amidst the West Asia conflict. Let's listen into what the minister had to say in New York.
Friends, in an era where supply chains connect our economies, the world is also increasingly focused on securing the maritime commons. Recent events have only underlined the need to do so. The challenge begins with ensuring adherence to relevant international law, specifically the UNCLOS. Our collective interest is in maintaining safe and unimpeded flow of maritime commerce. Where required, those nations with requisite capabilities must cooperate to combat piracy as well. The safety of seafarers is another major concern, thrown up by developments in the Gulf. Promoting search and rescue missions, providing humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, HADR, and encouraging capacity building while sharing best practices. These have all been facets where India has long been active. Our International Fusion Center anchors a cooperative network that covers the entire Indian Ocean region. We will endeavor to ensure that these issues get the attention they deserve in the Security Council.
All right, let's now head back to India and some news coming in on the economy front. Well, sources tell ET now that the government is taking stock of the economy, and sources are telling my colleague Prakash Priyadarshi that it is well equipped to handle with any aftermath that could emanate from the West Asia conflict, given the fact that we've seen a rise in tensions between the United States and Iran. My colleague Prakash Priyadarshi has more exclusive details on this story. Take a look.
Well, the government is well prepared to deal with the current situation if fresh tensions in West Asia escalates further, very significant development. In fact, government sources tell us that world marketing companies are better positioned to deal with this situation, and not only in terms of stock position, but also from planning perspective, they are better prepared than before. When it comes to stock position, in fact, stock position of petroleum products is better now than in February 2026. India currently has crude oil and petroleum product stocks sufficient for more than 60 days of use. In addition to that, oil marketing companies have tied up sufficient cargoes for the next few months. Now, coming on to product pricing, government sources tell us that oil marketing companies are making an over-recovery of around rupees 10 per litre on petrol. However, they are facing under recovery on diesel, which is roughly around rupees 8 per litre. But when it comes to domestic LPG, under recoveries on domestic LPG have reduced significantly to rupees 250 per cylinder, which was roughly around rupees 700 per cylinder in early June. That's an important development at this point in time. In fact, over recovery on petrol is roughly around 9,000 to 10,000 crore every month on the back of reduced crude oil prices. But situation is very dynamic in the global market, and therefore oil marketing companies, oil ministry is keeping close watch on the developments, regularly monitoring the situation with oil marketing companies. In addition to that, government is waiting for the situation to improve further before providing additional supply side relief to consumer. That's an important development at this point in time. Government is better position than ever before to deal with this situation if fresh tensions in West Asia escalates further.